Lordy, Lord, Lord. Oh, my Lord. Hello. Is anybody there? Can anybody hear me? Out in the void. This is Major Jeff to ground control. I'm stepping through the door. And I'm floating in the most peculiar way. This is Major Tom to ground control. Oh, I said that part already. I've crossed 100,000 miles. I'm feeling very scared. But my spaceship knows just which shorter way to go. Tell my wife I love her very much. She knows. She does. Ground control to Major Tom. I'm getting prepared. Just hang on. Can you hear me, Major Tom? Can you hear me, everyone? Can you hear as I get my stuff ready? Far above the world, I'm losing viewers too, and there's nothing I can do. Gotta do, let's clap. Let's clap. I'd love to actually have the music on here, but I wouldn't want Facebook to shut us down. How am I sounding, by the way? Is the mic working this week? Hold on, I can't see anybody's comments. Let's take a look. This week's episode, once again, brought to you by Bubbly. Bubble-tastic. Let's see what we got here. No. Amber, no. No what? No, you can't hear me? You can hear me? All right, I got comments, guys. So I can see people, what people are saying. I can see what condition my condition is in. Any other David Bowie requests? Listen, if the audio starts sounding like shit because of this mic, you just let me know. I'll switch it off the moment it's not sounding very pleasurable. Amber, no. I don't like the word no. I like the word yes. Yes. I want to hear the word yes, if you please. Guys, I am just dreadfully unprepared today. Thank you, Miranda. And thank you anyway, Amber. I hope you both are well and doing okay in this coronaness that we are all dealing with. If anybody out there, out of the kindness of their heart, wants to share this to a group that they think might, or just anywhere they think it might be appreciated, please do. I think it would be a good idea. I'm just sharing this around a little bit more, trying to get this all. Oh, good. Thank you. I will speak directly into the microphone once I have this set up. I guess actually this window, there's a lot that goes into this because you got to you want to be able to see your comments. You want to be able to see what condition your condition is in. So if you notice, I don't have my really cool, remember that thing I had last week, that freaking cool skull border that I made from like Misfits cover albums. Because Stephen Wig is the man, and so are you, Curtis. And a big cheers to Stephen for doing that. I think that's wonderful. Thank you, Stephen. I tip my hat to you, sir. But yeah, so I had this border that went around the goddamn window and it looked really fucking cool. And then OBS shit the bed on me right before I was supposed to go live. I have no idea why. It asked me if I wanted to update, and I get this shitty ass Joshua Martin wants to smell your mic. Yeah, it was rad, and I can't access it at the moment. What's going on, Lenny? How are you? Hope you and your family are well. Let me read you what the message says. Maybe someone could know. All right, here I'm going to screenshot this. Anybody knows how to troubleshoot this? Because I'm sure you guys. I spent a lot of time working on that. I like having the visual. So I'm putting this in the thing. Oh, you're at work selling bongs. Is that what you do? You're a bong maker. What kind of Misfits related bong would you make? Out of curiosity. Death comes ripping. Oh, death comes ripping bong rips. Death comes bong ripping. Death comes bong ripping. 2 days before 420, mind you. Wow. I don't smoke pot. Sorry. I thought that was cool. I don't know if anybody, lame, maybe it's a lame dad joke. Sorry. Why is this not going to let me post a picture? Is this suck? All right, guys, I'm like really stalling here because I'm trying to fucking figure this out. Oh my God, how do I share this? I got to tell you, I'm quite frustrated at the moment because I'm trying to get this fucking work and shite. All right, forget it. I can't share with you the screenshot. Actually, I'm going to put it on the Lodi page, and then I swear we're going to start. I swear to God. How is everybody doing? Else have something? You have some Bullwinkle pipes made. Post some pictures. Does anyone know how to fix this? I just updated OBS. Yes. Running. See, I know how boring this is. I'm so sorry. But like everything else is not boring because this is so exciting. But we're here to talk about something. Oh, thank you. The sound good. There's always a trade-off, right? Why can't everything help? Okay. Notes are open. All right. So first of all, come on, guys. Does anybody have any? Oh no. Oh yeah. So I hope everybody's doing well. Welcome to. All right, we're gonna do a little intro here. What's up, Russell? How are you, sir? Welcome to Facebook EVILIVE. Right? That's good. Facebook EVILIVE. What? The sound sucks? Oh my God. Please tell me you're joking right now. Are you fucking serious? What the Hold on, I'm listening right now. Sound sucks? Oh my God. It doesn't sound shitty to me. Is it still suck? Because it sounds fine. Hold on, I'm listening right now. Boo. The sound. Okay, the sound is perfect. Okay, moving on. All right, guys. If the sound shits the bed for more than 2 minutes straight, you off. Okay, it's probably gonna start sucking again. Probably that's because it's just the way it is. Okay, sorry, everybody. All right, this is like so ridiculous. I mean, how have we been going on with like this? So, welcome to Facebook Live 5. Where to begin? A little housekeeping. it cut out again. All right, don't dwell on this unless it's for more than 120 seconds. If it's for more than 120 seconds, we're going to worry about it. But if it's not for more than 120 seconds, let's just let it go. Okay. Oh, I got this shirt. I got this shirt from Walmart for $2. I had to get it. Texas Chainsaw. Everybody see that shirt? It's great. Okay, for fuck's sake, I'm sorry. Okay, all right, I'm sorry. God, you guys. So I have a little housekeeping from last week. In the way that I had housekeeping previously, and it's this idea that that floated into my head after we had spoken. And I just realized that that I had grazed over this, and I feel like it needs to just be quickly touched upon. And it's the idea that Danzig needs. Again, I know we beat this topic to death already, but like, just bear with me for 1 second because you already have for this long. Anyway, Danzig needs thicker production in the studio. Something like the wall of sound that Phil Spector made famous. I think that's what Danzig's biggest problem. And I know some people have already listened to Danzig Sings Elvis, and they say it's great. They're just like, "What's up, Eric Blair? How are you? Hope you are well, sir." They're saying that Danzig Sings Elvis is great and the songs sound good. And I've got to be honest, I'm a little skeptical. I still haven't listened yet, apart from One Night in You, which I was found to be rather lackluster. As we spoke about last week, go back and listen to that episode. I'm not going to repeat that here. But I think that Danzig just needs thicker production. What is thicker production? Wall of sound shit. What is wall of sound? Well, Phil Spector, back in the day, in the 60s, and Phil Spector, he worked with like the Beatles. He did Let It Be. He worked with John Lennon on a bunch of stuff. I think he produced John Lennon's first two albums. I think he produced Imagine and Plastic Ono Band, if I'm not mistaken. Although Plastic Ono Band is not really a wall of sound album. It's actually really stripped down. I digress. But Phil Spector had this thing called the wall of sound, where he just kept layering track after track after track of sound, and it made everything feel full and thick and gorgeous. Let me see if I can find the official definition of wall of sound. And I think that's what Glenn needs, truthfully. And you should listen to some of Spector. It's also known as the Spector sound. I'm going to put it in the notes, actually, the comments here, for anybody that's interested in learning about the wall of sound. But the overgraze is developed by American record producer Phil Spector at Gold Star Studios in the 1960s with assistance from engineer Larry Levine. And it involved a conglomerate of session musicians known as the Wrecking Crew. You might be familiar with them. The intention was to exploit the possibilities of studio recording to create, here's the key here for Glenn. No, it's not, Curtis. It's totally not. It's not hippie shit. Wall of sound is the shit, like good shit. To create an unusually dense orchestral aesthetic that came across well through radios and jukeboxes of the era. Spector explained in 1964, "I was looking for a sound so strong that if the material was not the greatest, the sound would carry the record. It was a case of augmenting. It all fit together like a jigsaw." And yeah, maybe Russell, maybe go back to Rick Rubin, maybe have Rick Rubin, because Phil Spector is not going to be doing the wall of sound anytime soon. But Phil Spector also fucking worked with the Ramones, man. He did End of the Century. There's definitely something to Phil Spector. I think the Phil Spector approach would be perfect for Glenn Danzig right now. Give Glenn the time to thicken, the rich cadence of his voice, that is there, but not. Thank you, Amber. I'm glad you like the Xmas lights. They seem to be a big hit with the crowd. But if you thicken, if Glenn were to thicken and layer his beautiful yet kind of strained voice, and then mix and mastered it properly, it would just be excellent. If you use some like really quality studio mics, I could imagine all these Elvis songs just sounding really full. I could imagine Black Laden Crown sounding really full. I could imagine Skeletons sounding really full. What's missing is the Phil Spector wall of sound. And it's just a shame that he's just he still very much just sort of relies on his voice, on what his voice can do, and it's just not. I just don't think it really works to his advantage. So I just want to touch upon that idea for all of you, that perhaps if Glenn was using the wall of sound, perhaps these last three albums would be way more well received. Maybe these songs, and some of the songs. I mean, I was, it's funny. I was listening to Black because I listened to the thing like, oh, Black. Again, I'm really not trying to knock on Glenn, guys. I'm really not. You know how much Eric, we're going to be talking about You and Me, and or not You and Me. We're going to be talking about Less Than Zero. That's actually my very next point to all of this madness. But like, look at some of these like songs, like Skulls and Daisies, Blackness Falls, Pull the Sun, Eyes Ripping Fire. It just, I don't know, man. It's just like, even these songs, which I feel like are kind of like mediocre, lackluster songs, I feel like Glenn at this point is like, what does Glenn Danzig write about? Well, they write about skulls and blackness. And he has a song called The Coldest Sun. It's like, oh, yes, ripping fire, eyes ripping fire, of course, And I'm sure Glenn, if he saw me say that right now, he'd be like, shut the fuck up. You don't know what those songs are about. Fuck you. And I'd be like, all right. Yes, Dark Lord, Glenn. I'm really sorry about that. But I just feel like all these songs would be so much better if they had the Phil Spector wall of sound. They would actually be like, more enjoyable. They would be. I think they're just a lot of them are just lacking on the production. So I'm just being redundant here at this point. So I'm going to move on. I'm going to move on from that. If anybody has any comments, let's see what some of the comments are before I move on. So of course we had Curtis says, fuck Ruben, he killed the devil flap. What are you talking about? What's the devil flap? The devil lock? I don't know if I guess he did kind of kill the devil lock, right? Because he stripped everything down. Cindy should bring back the old sounds. Cindy, wall of sound is the old sound. Curtis, in thinking that this is his last album, Curtis, I think Glenn is a creature of habit. I think no matter what, that dude is born to create. He that's what he does. He's an artist who expresses himself. I think he's never going to stop creating. I think he's always going to have more music. If anything, as we spoke about last week, again, I don't want this to turn into last week's show, but it's like if anything, it's time to return to the egg, man. It's time to like go back to the beginning and take some of those songs, those old Misfits songs, out of the trunk and take those 1970s arrangements and do them in a punk rock, with punk rock attitude, because we know he can still sing those songs. Eric Blair, that You and Me production would be great for the Elvis record. Exactly. Tempo is a little too slow, plus the drag from the reverb. Amber, that nailing it on the goddamn head, man. The tempo is fucking slow on all these songs. The entirety of Black Laden Crown feels like it's drenched in Quaaludes, man. It's just very slow. I'd say probably the fastest song is Devil on Highway 9, which is just kind of like, I don't know, man. Like I said, just mediocre material, just not. And from what I understand, he had been recording this album for quite some time. He just sort of was like picking up dribs and drabs here and there, going in, going out. Let's see here. Hold on. We have more comments. I want to make sure I hit all these before we move on. Diago, I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing your name. Diago, question. Why any of the Metallica members, specifically Kirk and James, didn't go to the OG Misfits shows on the West Coast? Perhaps they went, but nobody knows. I don't know, man. Who knows? You don't know that. They might have been there. Maybe they wanted to. Maybe they were just like, who knows? I can't speak to that. Who knows? I'll tell you one thing, Diago. And everybody, I do know this was crazy. I was trying to wrap my mind around this. I don't know who was there at Madison Square Garden last October. Get this through. So 3/4 of the Static Age lineup was at that show. 3/4 of the new Misfits 95 lineup was at that show. I think the entirety of the current Danzig lineup was at that show. Fuck, I'm trying to like go through this in my head. Oh, fucking up that show. Word, and that's just off the top of my head. Danzig Sings Elvis Part 2 in 2028. You're damn right, Amber. I mean, whatever he's going to put out, it's going to come out in 2028 next. Stephen Wigg in the house. Hi, Steve. How are you? Side note, Curtis Christensen had the coolest shop around back in the day. Okay, Steve says that Curtis had the coolest shop around back in the late Samhain, early Danzig days in Green Bay, Wisconsin's Surf and Bird skate shop with Misfits crap galore and the Danzig home video on steady rotation. He was my Misfits mentor, and he happened to bring Danzig to Green Bay in 1990 for the greatest show ever. Wait, so Curtis, you were the promoter for this show in 1990? Let's hear all about that. It's also where I heard Less Than Zero for the first time, or you know. That I love hearing that sort of stuff. And something to note about that, guys, I'm gonna go. I see I have 11 more comments, so I'm gonna work my way down here. But that's really fucking cool, Steve. And that goes back. You're talking about the 1990 and the late, probably the late 80s too, man. And it's just like this is what fostered. This is what fostered the legend and the mythology of the Misfits, man. Like in the in-between time. Because obviously, look, give credit where credit's due. Jerry brought back the friggin' that skull and the name in the 90s. Glenn probably would have let it gather cobwebs forever. So you can't Jerry introduced it to a whole new generation of people. And that reinvigorated what had been kind of like an incredibly cool underground thing. But what Steve is talking about is that incredibly cool underground thing. You wanted to learn about the Misfits? You're skating. You're at a skate park. I love this fucking story. This story happened all over the United States, and not just with the Misfits, with anything that's counterculture. You're in a fucking skate shop or a video store or whatever, and you see that fucking thing, that symbol. You don't understand what that symbol is. You see that fucking skull, right? And you're like, who is this grinning skull? Ignore my other bad tattoos. What is this grinning skull right here? I need to know more about this grinning skull. And they're like, oh yeah, this band called the Misfits. I feel like a misfit. Oh, well, here's my tape. The tape with the 10th generation hiss. And the songs sound all out of speed because they've been re-recorded so many times. It's just like that's the shit of like legend. That's the before the chat room. Who's calling me right now? Such a bad time. Oh my God. This is my Nana, my grandmother. She is 92. I'm probably going to lose some people over this, but I never not pick up for my Nana. Hi, Nana. What's going on? Nana, I love you. I'm doing okay. I'm actually in the middle of a Facebook broadcast right now. I'm going to call you as soon as this is over. Okay. No, I am going to call you. I am going to call. No, I got to go though. I'm keeping people waiting, but I love you. Okay, well, I'll call you later. I'm going to be done later. Okay, I love you. Bye. I'm sorry about that, everyone. I always pick up for my Nana. You want to know something? My other grandmother, she called me. I didn't pick up for her because it was a hectic time in my life. Like at that moment, she died the next day. I never spoke to her again. I always pick up for Nana. Always pick up for your grandparents, people. But yeah, that was the internet before the motherfucking internet. Okay, moving on. Sorry, we're getting really caught up with these comments. I'm going to go back and like these things later. Ludes, dude. I love the slow. Curtis, I don't like the slow flop, but, look at Danzig 1 versus, like, Danzig fucking Black Lady and Crown. It's just like, it's just too slow, man. It's just too slow. When everything went digital, I don't know what the answers. And Jerry's Delta party. Buzz, what party? Tell us about SG. So was I, Steve. Greg guttering out band page. That's cool. I know about that guy. Raphael was Dr. Chud. That drummer from the 95 Misfits was at that show. He was in a skybox. He was not, as far as I know, invited backstage. Probably wishing that it was him, not Dave. That Curtis, this is amazing. The back cover of Black Aria was taken by the bathroom of the Green Bay Embassy Suites Hotel. Really cool. Curtis, this is so cool. We're going to have to do like a whole, we got to talk about this. What's up, Umberto? How are you? Just catching up here. Curtis, we're going to, this will be a future topic. I want to talk, let's talk all about what it was to put on that show, because that's fucking cool as fuck. Sorry, I'm cursing too much. Skaters called the Crimson Ghost shirt the Steve Caballero shirt because he wore it all the time. So I don't know who Steve Caballero is, but this is so cool. So, but I'm sure Steve Caballero, I'm just going to assume this. Okay. Ready? Steve Caballero, and I'm sure Curtis will correct me if I'm wrong, probably some skater dude who just knew who was in the know. Whoa, there's Steve Caballero in his Crimson Ghost shirt. Or there's Steve in that cool skull. Since we have 19 people in here, guys, share this page. Let's share this. Share this in some groups. Share it around if you can. Let's share it all over the place, huh? What's up, Terry? How are you? I hope you're well. God bless you, sir. Stay safe and be well, man. Yeah, so share this shit. And also, I'm going to take a quick moment. If you notice up at top in the description for this video, you'll see the link to my website. Please go on there and click some of the ads. It doesn't cost you a penny, but it gets me a couple at my AdSense account. Think of this as my virtual tip jar without asking, because I don't want to hit mind. I don't mind taking a couple pennies from Papa Google and Mama Chrome. So yeah, just gonna say that every once in a while. Buzz, yep. The crazy dude in junior high wore a Fiend Club shirt, and that's how I heard of the Misfits. That's awesome, Buzz. Jason, you're a good man. Respect. I don't know who you're talking about, Jason, but I also respect to whoever the good man is. Yep, exactly. Caballero is the gateway for me. Whoa, who are all these? You guys all know each other? Like all these people like know each other, whatever. Eric Blair says, is the Black Aria photo the one that looks like a Jim Morrison lift? Well, Eric, I don't know if you've caught on to some of the previous episodes, but we talked all about Glenn's very, very pronounced yet very subtle Jim Morrison influence that, for whatever reason, he belligerently does not want to admit to. Curtis says, legendary Powell Peralta skater was, sorry, I'm like, can't talk or read. Legendary Powell Peralta skater was in the faction. I feel like there's like a group of like dudes from the Midwest who are like all here in this thing, which is awesome. I'm like so happy to have all you guys. Like you guys like all knew each other and bonded over the Misfits, which is, let's dive into that for just a little bit. Again, whether it was a t-shirt, whether it was a sticker on your skateboard, whether it was a bumper sticker on your car, whatever it may be, the drawing that you did on your notebook or your textbook in school, you're taking your tech over. Buzz, you need to listen to our other episodes, buddy, to talk Danzig Doors cover song. Are you serious, Buzz? Are you serious? But yeah, it's like you see the dude with the Crimson Skull, as I just said, with the tattoo right here, and it's like the secret fraternity. We all look, it's like two guys across the room. They're both wearing Crimson Ghost shirts, and on some level they don't know each other at all, but they see that this dude's down with the Fiend, and they're just like, you just see that this dude is a Fiend, or that this dude is in the Fiend Club, and you're just like, yeah, buddy, yeah, connection. And Steve says that Steve Caballero, the legendary, gave him a tape. Listen, as the guys who were in this room, what happened, man? This is how the Misfits spread everywhere in like the fucking country and the world. Yada yada yada. All right, let's move on. let us move on to the next thing that we were going to spin into. So this broadcast is actually on a very important anniversary. Does anybody know what anniversary that is? Today is the anniversary, guys, the anniversary of the first live show of the Misfits at CBGB's 43 years ago on April 18th, 1977. April 18th, 1977, 43 years ago, the Misfits played a CBGB showcase as a three-piece with Manny, Glenn, and Jerry. They went on dead last and hated it. And it was just like a talent showcase. And 43 years later, we're still talking about them. So happy. But I don't know if is a band's official birthday on the first day they play live? Like, what's the rule? What's the rule of thumb? Eric, do you know what's the rule of thumb for that? Like, when is a band's birthday official? I'm trying to go live on Instagram too, if I can.